It's now pretty common that we see bumper stickers and flags that say
Ooh.
I don't ever remember seeing Harper flag or an Chrétien flag. This to me isn't politics. This is personal. You must have seen them. It has to bother you. I know you're a dad. What about when your kids see it? Do you talk to them about it?
Clinton Jaws, please subscribe. It's the only thing I care about. Trudeau, new interview. It's interesting. Let's make fun of him. He's on a podcast called Village Media. It has 300 subscribers. Trudeau's really getting his message to the world, isn't he? He's talking on these platforms that have no viewers. This podcast has 140 views. It's 2 days old.
These choices that people are going to make are really, really important. And that's why so many liberals are very, very passionate about saying, well, listen, we've been behind the polls for quite a while now. Do we need to do something radical to change things?
Radical.
My perspective is, yes, we
need to be radical. Radical change is coming up, guys. He's going to try to sucker us. Give us some free money. That's what he's going to try to do. But isn't it kind of worrisome when he uses the word radical? And why all of a sudden do you have to change? Because I want to get elected. I think I'll change now. Guys, this gets good. He almost cries talking about his bumper stickers and Canadian flags.
Who has a better handle on what the solutions that are going to help Canadians for the coming years? That's
Obviously.
what elections should be about. And right now, people are just consuming slogans and disinformation and not really thinking about politics. They're thinking about how they're going to make ends meet, how they're going to pay their rent, how they're going to afford their groceries, how they're going to stay out from under the global conflicts that are hitting us from every side.
You're not resigning. You're staying on as Liberal
I had a
leader?
press conference yesterday,
Yes.
I am determined to lead this party into the next election because we need to put all our tools together, and I am actually really excited about this fight. I think the opportunity to allow Canadians to make the best possible choice for the future is what we all get
Coming up, he blames all of Canada for his downfall.
Into politics for, to make a difference, to pitch an argument, and to connect with Canadians in a way that gives them optimism and a realistic plan for the future. That's what we're in the business of, and that's what I'm excited about.
Close attention to what he says here.
Now, Canadians were in a place of much more natural optimism in 2015 than they are right now. We have gone through a series of crises and challenges, from Trump and his attack on Canadian workers and NAFTA, to the pandemic, to the global economic challenges with massive inflation and interest rate hikes, and to the global geopolitical instability of wars and conflicts. People have been knocked around a whole lot. People are scared, and it's really easy, as Polyev has shown, to exploit that fear, to gin up anger and instrumentalize it to try and get people mad at everyone and pointing the blame at whoever they think is responsible. Much harder to propose real solutions, much harder to do the work of actually delivering things that are making a difference. And no matter how much I talk about, 1 million Canadians having access to dental care.
He talks about some bad things there, eh? Trump, pandemic, war. What's the solution? Cleanings. Dental cleanings. Dentistry's gonna fix it all, guys. He lists all these bad things, really bad things. And the fix is root canals. Literally. What's the solution? More cleanings. What a guy. What a guy.
No matter how much I talk about 1 million Canadians having access to dental care, no matter how much we point out all the electric vehicles that are rolling off assembly lines.
Makes my life way better.
Particularly in Ontario.
That'll stop the war.
Because of investments
electric
that this government
vehicles
specifically made, people still haven't sort of connected those dots in a way that says, okay.
Guys, you're not connecting the dots. You're not getting it. You're the problem, Canada. It ain't me. Don't you hear what I'm talking about? I'm talking about electric vehicles and dental cleanings. You're not getting it. Don't you understand? That's the solution to fix everything. Climate change. Connect the dots, Canada.
people still haven't sort of connected those dots in a way that says, okay, what do I risk losing in the next election? What do I have the potential to win and to gain in the next election? And that is going to shape people's choice.
Because politics is so much about feeling. And I remember when you were first elected, there was that feeling around the hockey rinks where I went that most people were going to vote Justin Trudeau's government. It's a different sense now. At the hockey rink and around the community, you hear people saying, Poilievre's going to get my vote.
Were they saying that?
Is that really what you're hearing now at sporting events?
Were they saying that? They weren't necessarily saying they were voting for me 6 months before the election, though. Like through the first half of the 2015, and I always
100 years ago.
Going too much. Oh well, 2015 we did it.
Yes,
so
Yeah. We know you were in third place. Blah blah blah.
Canadians tend to make up their minds later. Right now, absolutely. There's a huge level of frustration that is, a lot of it's pointed at me. A lot of it is directed at me through very clever use of social media and attack ads that we haven't yet responded to.
What do you mean by that? You're going to respond to it? Or you're just going to argue against it? I don't know. I didn't like him saying that. Didn't like hearing that. At first I thought, is that a threat?
Is directed at me through very clever use of social media and attack ads that we haven't yet responded to. But to prejudge the outcome of an election already is something
Foolish.
that I don't think people would be too wise in doing.
It's a fair point.
Prime Minister, there's no question that there's some
wise,
people
Canada.
who it's now pretty common that we see bumper stickers
What do
and
they say?
flags that say F Trudeau.
Ooh.
I don't ever remember seeing an F Harper flag or an F Chrétien flag. This to me isn't politics. This is personal. You must have seen them. It has to bother you.
My first thought, and you pointed out well, what has happened over the past years that has brought people to that place of that much anger? Canadian politics and Canadians in general used to be a little more civil around disagreements like that. One of the things we've seen with the phenomenon of amplification of extremist right-wing voices,
Extremist right-wing.
Misinformation, disinformation online is...
So
there's
much.
always been those people who have really aggressive negative views. What we've seen is the amplification
this.
of that, the taking up space of more and more of that, the organizing, so you get 3 people with flags outside any little community event
It's
I
not
do,
because of him.
that makes it much more visible. But I don't think Canadians have actually changed for the most part. I mean, yes, people tend to give folks the benefit of the doubt. If someone's out there in the rain waving an F Trudeau flag, people are going to say, boy, the Prime Minister must have done really something terrible to upset that person.
Maybe
because
11-year-olds.
We're good people. We sort of say, okay, there must be a reason for you to do that.
It seems un-Canadian.
It seems un-Canadian to not give people the benefit of the doubt.
I know you're a dad. What about when your kids see it? Do you talk to them about it?
When you see an F Trudeau flag, people don't think about it, but I do. That's my daughter's last name on that flag. That's the last name that my 2 sons will carry throughout their lives.
Red eyes.
It's hard for me to
Nearly.
think about
Caught himself.
how to, make them understand that it's all part of the sacrifice in service that we're choosing to do, that the good things we're doing that is making this world a better place, even if it means I'm skipping their basketball
Sacrificing his kids. Dude, just retire. Let them off the hook.
games or not there at the dance recitals or whatever.
Those are big things.
That it does matter, and that yes, there are a few people who are very angry out there, but they don't represent everyone.
Like, how long do you want to do this for?
That most Canadians are decent and thoughtful and just trying to make their way through in this country the best way we can, and that the things that we are actually doing as a government, the things that I'm focused on delivering for Canadians to help with affordability, to grow a strong economy to the future, really, really do matter more than a bumper sticker or a cheap slogan shouted out on the floor of the House of Commons.
We appreciate that answer. You did talk about how you.
I mean, I was walking into a restaurant here in the GTA a few weeks ago, and some guy in the front of a pickup truck, shouted out a big F Trudeau, and it was a nice sunny day, and I wandered over and I said, "Hello, sir, how you doing?" And he's like, "Oh, no, I don't want to talk to you. Can I just know why you're so upset at me?" He goes, "You impose vaccines on us, and you're trying to poison us." I say, "Okay. I can see I'm not really going to be able. Now I understand why you're saying it. There's a real anger in a very specific segment of the population around what was a difficult time for all of us. But I also know that if he's convinced that I've tried to inject microchips into him through an experimental vaccine, nothing I'm going to be able to say to him is going to convince him that actually I didn't do that or didn't want to do that." What was interesting in that
Is that guy far off? Is he that far off? Do we really know? Why'd they get rid of AstraZeneca? That vaccine? That's not what he's mad at. He's mad at you shut down the world, you shut down Canada, you taped up playgrounds. People lost their jobs. RCMP members had to retire because they wouldn't take it. You made them take it. Nurses lost their jobs because you made them take it. You went against people's religion. That's what the guy meant from the truck.
That dynamic was the guy beside him in the truck. I sort of said, "How are you doing, sir?" He goes, "Could I get a picture?" And he took a picture with me. And it was, so I'm going to try and engage and try to understand. And there are people that can't be reached right now. We all have family members. I've got a half brother who's in a pretty bad place since the pandemic. Love him, still do, always will, but can't have real conversations with him based on facts and reality.
He hates his brother. You want to know why? Because he just called him half a brother. I got a buddy named Shane. He has a half brother named Cole. I have never, in my entire life, heard Shane refer to him as my half brother. "Hey, Clint, you want to meet my half brother?" Could you imagine? Nobody does that. But he wants you to know, Canada, he's not really my brother, okay? Just so you know, that guy out there talking to everybody is not really my brother. Just a little bit, like half. What a boner.
Well, what are you going to do about the Canada carbon rebate that actually puts more money in the pockets of 8 out of 10 Canadians?
Guys, I'm going to stop it right there, okay? They start talking about affordable housing. Why do they keep on referring it to as affordable housing? Can't you just say housing? Nobody cares about affordable. What is affordable housing? Just say housing. Why am I getting so excited? It's Sunday, football's on. Wrap it up, Clint.
I very much am a Josh Lyman guy.
I wrote it, Josh.
There you go. I was so excited about meeting him, but he wasn't on set that day, so I didn't get to see him. So that was,
Gosh darn
was
it.
a frustration.
On TV, what are you watching right now?
I just finished Nobody Wants This.
Did you learn anything?
Which is as good a rom-com as you can.
Nobody wants
it's
this.
Brilliant. It was that Fleabag dynamic with the priest transported into rabbi.
No wonder you clicked that title.
Just lovely.
It was great.
Sorry, people have to be pretty deep in their TV wire to understand what I just said, but all sorts of stuff there.
That was a good segue.
Well, it's a bad segue from Netflix to affordable housing, but let's make
Affordable
it.
housing.
Let's talk about the immigration.